How is everybody doing for Wednesday of week 10? We're week 10, right? Yeah,
We're good. How are you?
good. I'm trying to keep two schedules straight because I teach in the RN community program as well. So I keep forgetting. Everything's off weeks. Uh, PN exams are after RN exams. So we're in week 10. So we do have exams this week. Just trying to get my bearings. We have a few more people we're waiting for. Several, actually. Everybody getting organized for HESIs? Everybody have their HESI scheduled for the most part? Everybody for two more students. So everybody's got their HESI schedule, correct? At least for community. Anybody having issues? If you're having issues, you got to reach out to me or reach out to your campus, but they should all be scheduled by now. You guys are taking, let's see, I have Butler Bay students are taking it Thursday. Pensacola students are taking it Monday. And Port St. Lucie students are taking it Friday. Does that all sound right? Right. Okay. Vulnerable populations papers. I'm going to finish grading those today or tonight, no later than tonight. But the ones I've seen look absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful job. So that's great. So those will be finished being graded tonight. So today we are going to do quiz 5, which is kind of a term review and will help for HESI. We'll review that quiz, go over all the rationales because there's a lot of teaching and not teaching, but review in those rationales. And then after that, I'm going to pull up the HESI study guide and we're going to go through that, or we're going to talk about that. Okay. Um, and that will be for the rest of the class. Does anybody have any questions? I believe I forgot to put in an access code. I was just thinking about that. An access code, it's usually Marvel, but I might have. I can't remember. So anyway, if you want to go ahead, Christina, I need you to come on camera for the quiz, please. Um, see, it's 1:04, so 15 minutes. What's that? 1:20. Accommodations, 1:25. So let's plan on being back here no later than 1:25. Okay, don't log off, but if you want to shut your camera off when you're done after you submit it. Um, and the access code, I think it is in there. The access code is my last name. So let me put that in there. Okay, and then we'll go over a few other housekeeping things when we're done. Um, Okay, so go ahead and start the quiz. I'm going to mute myself, and everybody else should be muted. If you have any questions during the quiz, just put them in the chat, okay? Can you guys get in? All right, fantastic. And I need everybody on camera. Okay, I need to see everybody's faces. I can from, okay, fantastic.
Professor Marble, I'm not sure if anyone else is having this problem, but I can't actually get onto Canvas right now. It's saying this website is under heavy load.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think Canvas is down right
my Canvas isn't working either.
Do we
Yeah.
think Canvas is down?
It's saying too
Maybe.
many people are trying to access website at the same time. We're working on this problem. Try again later.
Yeah, it says time request off heavy something.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I thought it was just my Wi-Fi.
Okay. Who is actually in the quiz doing it now? Anybody? Okay, everybody, let's everybody jump out of the quiz. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and make a phone call real quick. So everybody just hang tight, okay?
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, just call one of my other teammates who has a class at this time and same issue. It appears the canvas is down. Okay. So what I don't know, I don't know about the quiz. I have no idea. I'll have to wait for some direction from Dean Brown.
It just
Okay.
came back up on my end.
Oh, it's back up again?
I haven't tried
Anybody
to
else?
get the quiz, but Canvas is back up.
Say that again. Is
I
anybody else?
haven't tried to get in the quiz, but Canvas is
Okay, try and
up.
refresh your quiz and see if it comes up. Anybody having any luck?
It's still taking really long.
Okay. Is anybody able to get into it? No. Okay. Well, I think what we'll do, let's shift gears here. I'm sure we'll be getting let me double check my email. I just heard it buzz, and I'm sure we'll be getting some direction from Dean Brown. So hang tight. Okay. That's not from Dean Brown, but it is an email to Dean Brown that says from my other teammate, Canvas crash. So I don't know what we'll do about the quiz. In the meantime, I'm going to pull up the HESI prep. Okay. I'm going to pull up the HESI prep and we're going to start going through that. Okay. Let me know if during class time Canvas comes back up or you can access the quiz. Don't anybody start it. But if it comes up, we can reevaluate the situation and see if we can go in and take the quiz. But before you do, I have to go in and change the settings, right? Because it's only available till 1:30. All right, make sense? Okay, so let's start from here. How are you all coming with your HESI prep? Please tell me everybody's open the 71 pages. All right, Tamika and Shakithia, I need you to come on camera, please. Thank you. Shakithia, camera, please. So tell me, as you're going through it, remember the HESI. This HESI is community, med-surg, focused, pediatric focused, geriatric focused, fundamentals, right? We've talked about this all term. And as you're going through that big booklet of your HESI prep, the concepts have been covered and we'll go through that, but there's a lot of information in those 71 pages that are having to be pulled from your other classes, right? Right? Yes? Have you, okay. Okay. And so a lot of your HESI prep is also pulling together all the information from your other classes. Okay, and remember, we're going from knowledge to clinical practice, right? Clinical judgment. That's what the HESI is all about. They're clinical judgment questions, right? Before I bring up the HESI prep, I want to bring up a document. I'm going to share my screen here. I just need to make sure. Okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen. This is pulled from a previous HESI prep. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So here are the categories that this HESI prep is all not that it's all pulled from. Okay, the big categories are nursing process, right? So there's going to be questions that test your ability about assessment, analysis, planning, implementation, and evaluation, which is your ADPI, right? Client needs. Okay, there are going to be there's obviously the questions are all about clients. But here's what's going to be covered, or here's what you need to think about as you're answering these questions. Safe environment, safe and effective environment, management of care, safety and infection control, health promotion and maintenance, psychosocial integrity, physiological integrity, comfort care. This comes from the category of client needs. Basic care comfort, reducing risk, physio-adaptation, community health, critical care. Okay, so these are specialty areas that are covered. Community health, obviously, critical care, fundamentals, fluid and electrolyte, fluid electrolytes, that comes from fundamentals. Geriatrics, maternity, med surge, pathophysiology comes from your fundamentals. Peds, professional issues, and mental health. Okay, so that's what this whole HESI encompasses, all those different areas. Okay. Okay, can everybody still see my screen? Yes? Okay, so this is your big study guide for the HESI. I would also pull your exam reviews, exams 1, 2, and 3, as you're reviewing for the HESI. I would also review, if you haven't, as you do your CJ Sims, I mean, you should be spending 15, 20 minutes on your CJ Sims. Hopefully, you're looking at the remediation and the rationales in your CJ Sims. That is those are excellent practice exercises for the HESI because your CJ Sims are client focused. That's how questions are going to be asked, right? The other area of review, if you didn't take the time to do it during the term, is back to your NCLEX assignments. You know, your NCLEX assignments provide excellent remediation and rationales as well. So if you've been doing that all term and looking at these and not just submitting a score, but actually going back and looking at what you got wrong and looking at those, that's helpful as well. All right. So that's my suggestion. You review your CJ Sims, and you could review your CJ Sims in your other classes as well. Right? In your PEDS, Med Surg, review your CJ Sims. Excellent practice opportunities. So CJ Sims, NCLEX, reviewing those, your study guides, and then this study guide. Okay? So, not inclusive study guide. Questions are randomly selected, much like NCLEX. We develop our own exams 1, 2, and 3 within our team, but this is not. This comes from the bank. It's like your boards you're going to take, your NCLEX. Okay, it's generated, the HESI is generated from a large bank of questions, and we have nothing to do with the HESI. Okay, hopefully attending reviews, meeting with your instructor when you needed to do that during the term, coming to class, preparing, taking your quizzes, doing all your assignments. This has all prepared you for HESI. There's no new information. This is a review. Okay, review your study guides, which we talked about. I just went through a list of nursing process and client needs. That includes ADPI. Make sure you're watching for priority type questions, right? First, last, most important, least important, what would you do? What would be the priority? Okay. Please review your primary, secondary, and tertiary, and that's in the study guide. There are going to be questions about identifying primary, secondary, and tertiary interventions. Okay. Next gen type questions include, this is a next gen exam, right? Include lots of prevention questions. We just talked about prevention for cancer, prevention for obesity. Always assess for abuse and neglect in every age group, right? Remember, we're mandated reporters. Review and remember how to conduct a community assessment and how to validate if your community program is viable and sustainable, right? So we need to review how you do a community assessment, what that looks like. And also in this bullet, how do we review if a program that we've developed is viable and sustainable? How do we evaluate? How do we evaluate its success, its failure? And how do we revisit a community program after we've done an evaluation and make the necessary adjustments? Review your epidemiological chapters. So that's your epidemiological triangle. And that's in this review guide. Review spirituality and respite care. There's lots of questions on this concept. I already mentioned review your NCLEX questions and your case studies, which are your CJ Sims. Even your discussion questions that you did. Those have also prepared you. If you reviewed your exams with your instructor when the review period was open, you should have an idea what to expect. Okay, so remember, this is highlighted in yellow. Remember to apply your principles of clinical judgment, nursing process, med-surg principles, safety, and delegation. Keep the study guides and review them. Lots of community assessment, evaluation, morbidity. Excuse me. Morbidity and community validation concepts will be threaded into the HESI. So as we start to go through each header that's in red are the specific concepts that we covered. Okay, so this first one is huge. I think I'd have to look, but I think it's probably 15 pages. Okay, we talked all term about population groups across the lifespan and their health risks, all the way from infants, adolescents, or children, infants, children, adolescents, adults, elderly, female, male, high-risk populations. So each of these, then it goes through each of these, the study guide goes through each of these groups. Okay? So I'm not going to go through all of these groups. I'm just pointing out how to attack this study guide. Okay, so this is what you need to know with each of these groups. Okay, what are the primary concerns about infants? Well, it says here that the number one cause is suffocation. Number one cause of death is suffocation, followed by car accidents and homicide. SIDS, infection is the most significant cause of illness to infants. What do we want to know about children? Well, we want to know about obesity, risks for childhood obesity, risks for injury and accidents, toddlers, school-age children. So that's your children's section. In each of these groups of people, there's a section that's suggested screening and preventative measures for each of these sections. There's also a section with each of these groups of community education. So have a look at those. Then we go for up to adolescents. Okay. And the header with each of these groups will tell you what they are at most risk for. Okay. And then here's your category, here's your 2 categories of screening and preventative measures for adolescents, and what's important for community education for adolescents. Okay, the next section is women's health. Information, generic information about women's health. Health concerns and community education. Men, same thing, health concerns, community education. Then the elderly section's quite big. Okay, it talks about the elderly as a population in general, the risks, lots of risks. This is a big section. Okay, talks about abuse and neglect, health concerns, leading causes of death in the elderly. There's a lot of geriatric questions on the elderly and based on the community setting. And remember, when you pull all these different areas of nursing, med-surg, geri, maternity, peds, these aren't questions from the acute care setting. These are questions that are community focused. But remember, in community, we're taking care of we could be taking care of all age groups, right? So when you think, well, why are there peds questions? This isn't a pediatric class. This is community. Why are there geri questions? This isn't a geri class. It's community. Well, we need our geri skills to care for the elderly in the community, right? We need our peds skills to care for pediatric clients. I needed my peds skills to perform my job in school nursing, right? So again, this is still all the elderly, community education with the elderly. There's a section here about U.S. healthcare problems. There's a section here about home visits. What are that was covered all in our home health section.
Professor, my Canvas is up now and it works. I don't know if anybody else is, but mine does.
Oh, okay. Let's stop sharing for a minute. Let's everybody try it.
My Canvas works.
Mine's too.
Okay, well, you guys are all figuring out your Canvas. I'm going in real quick to adjust the settings. Hang on. So you're still able to take your quiz. Hang on. Okay. Can everybody get into their quiz? Let me ask it differently. Can anybody not get into their quiz? Mariana, are you there? You're off camera. Okay. Mariana, can you get in? Anybody give me a thumbs down that can't? Fantastic.
I'm in the quiz, but it's saying I took the quiz and I didn't take the quiz.
Is that happening to anybody else?
Mine's asking for an access code.
Okay. Okay. So is Carla the only one that can't take the quiz? Carla, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room, okay?
Okay.
Dulcima, your quiz closed? Okay, I'm gonna put Carla and Dulcima, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room, but I need to get the rest of the group started, so just hang tight there, because I need to see if I can reset it. Okay? Do I need to put anybody else besides Carla and Dulcima in there? Okay. All right, I'm sending you guys to the room, okay? I'll be there in a bit. Okay, everybody else, my quiz is open. I haven't answered anything. It's staying on question 1. Does that mean you can continue, Ayana?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Okay, the code, the access code is, I'm putting it in the everyone, is my last name. And I kept it open for a half an hour. All right, so let me know, give me a thumbs up if you're able to get in and start it. All right, great. All right, I'm going to the breakout room. Just everybody stay on camera. I need to sort out the other 2 students, okay? All right. All right, did you guys both start the quiz? And it won't let you finish, or what?
I never got into the quiz.
Okay, Carla, once you reset, because there's no reason you shouldn't be able to get into it, you need to refresh. Try that.
Okay.
Dulcima, what's going on with you? You're on mute.
Close the quiz.
What?
Close the quiz. I can
Did you try and restart?
wait. It's mine's still saying the same thing.
What is it
Yeah.
saying?
So it's like I took the quiz and I got everything wrong. And I never got into it.
Yeah, yes, the same.
Okay.
I never saw the quiz.
Okay. Let me go in and see if I can reset it for you guys. I don't know if I can. So hang on. Just bear with me. I can't reset the quiz. Yeah, I can't reset, I'm not sure how to reset it. I don't think I can. So I'm not sure. I will have to, did you try and yeah,
I came out and then I refreshed and it's saying the same thing. My thing is the test never opened because it was saying the system was overloaded. I
Well,
never got
something,
into the
you must have,
quiz.
I don't know if you clicked into the quiz, but didn't start it.
I never clicked into it because you didn't give us the code because I couldn't
Mm.
get into Canvas.
Okay. I mean, you'll be able to take it eventually. I just need to, it may not be right now. There's no way for me to reset it with everybody else taking it. So I'm thinking of what I can do here. Um, I'm not sure what to do here. The only thing I can think about doing is putting you guys back in the main room. I'll go through the quiz with the rationales with the class, and I'm gonna have to create a new quiz for the both of you to be taken, I don't know, after class, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay,
Oh,
because I have
one
another
second.
class
Hang on.
after this
Here's
one.
Dean Brown. What?
I have another class after this one, and I
Hang on
haven't
one
done.
second. All right, try and get in now. It's been reassigned to you. You're gonna have to
No, it's
restart.
just saying,
Refresh, please.
okay, I'm backing all the way out of Canvas.
And don't worry, you have 15 minutes to do it. Don't worry. I just want to make sure you guys are in.
I can.
Mine still says the same thing.
I need to go back to the main room for a second to make sure everybody's doing okay.
I don't.
Any luck?
No, I logged out of Canvas and I'm just going back in.
Okay.
No, it's still the same thing.
No.
That's weird because the test never started. The system crashed.
Hang tight, ladies. Hang tight.
Okay. Glad.
Okay, ladies, refresh and try it again.
The same.
Still nothing?
Yeah, it's doing the same thing.
Okay. Did you guys put in my access code? Put in my access code. Marvel, Marvel.
So
No,
are you
I
talking to
can't.
us?
Excuse me?
It doesn't even, it's saying we already took the quiz. It's not giving us anything.
But the quiz has been reset. It's been. Oh,
It doesn't
oh,
show that on our end.
Okay,
On
one
my
second.
end, at least.
1 second.
Mm.
I'm going to jump back into the main room for a minute, okay? I'll be right back. It's being worked on, okay?
Okay.
If everybody could just hang tight for a minute, I'm still working with the two students in the breakout room, okay? That's where I am. I'll be right back. Okay, ladies, try now. With the access code Marvel, try and refresh first, please.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're
No,
in, Dulcima? Okay, fantastic. Carla, let me know when you're in.
I'm refreshing.
Okay. Once Carla gets in, I'm gonna move you back to the main room.
Okay, now
And
it's
we'll-
giving me the option to take
Okay,
it.
awesome. I'll move you back to the main room and we'll just hang out and we'll just wait for you guys to finish. Take your time though, okay? Okay. Oh, darling, thank you.
Mm.
Hey, if everybody could start coming back on camera, please. Carla, are you done?
I have one more.
Okay, okay. Okay, looks like everybody's done. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back real quick because I want to finish reviewing the important points with the with the HESI prep. Okay. Just to show you how it's lined up, and then we'll review the quiz. How's that sound? Okay. All right. Let's go back to this. Okay. Everybody see my screen? Okay. So we were back in the US the US healthcare population. Remember, we're still under the big header at the beginning of population groups across the lifespan, health risks. Okay, so we're still under that. Okay. US healthcare problems, we got to that. Okay, levels of prevention. Remember, we're still under this section, populations across the lifespan. This is an excellent box, okay, to review primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay, so make sure you review that. Okay, the next big section, next big concept is specialty nursing. That's all those different roles of nurses we covered. School nurse, hospice nurse, occupational nurse, environmental nurse, faith community nurse. That's what this section is about. It's different specialty nursing, different types of specialty nursing. Okay, so then it goes through the faith community nurse, hospice nurse. What is the role of the nurse? Okay. In this section, It covers the role of the nurse. How do we do a family assessment? Okay, what's the difference between an eco map and the genogram? Right? Remember the genogram was the historical, the genetic perspectives going back 3 generations. The eco map is the current social structure families have within the community. Right? Do they have a lot of resources? Do they have family? Do they have support groups? Do they belong to different groups in the community? All right, it represents the family's interactions with other groups. So you want them to have a strong eco map, right? Versus isolation. All right. We're in the section of role of the nurse, right? And family is how do we do a family assessment? How do we assess for violence? What are the risk factors? Nurses' role when working with the vulnerable populations. Okay, again, role of the nurse. We're under the section of specialty nursing, role of the nurse. What are legal and ethical implications? Professional negligence and scope of practice. Okay, again, still under the section of specialty nursing, role of the nurse, ethical principles. Here's an excellent summary of the ethical principles we talked about in class: autonomy, non-malfeasance, beneficence, and distributive justice. Then it goes through some professional tips for us. Okay, then that third section, third big one, is program management process. This is how do we develop programs? Remember, a lot of what we do in the community is teaching, develop programs, develop in-services, develop, assess what groups need what. You know, I did this all the time in the school nursing job I had. What was the program needs for the preschoolers? What were the needs for the elementary, middle, high school? Okay, so this whole section is about program management. How do you develop a program? How do you look at outcomes? How do you evaluate it? There's your aspects of program evaluation. There are several questions on HESI with regards to program development and program evaluation. Okay, as you can see, there's a big section here on evaluating outcomes. Look at this section. How do you evaluate the outcomes of your programs? Next big section is infectious disease. Whoops. Agent, remember the epidemiological triangle, the agent, the host, and the environment. Right? You all know what this is by now. The agent is what's causing. Is it the flu? Is it COVID? Is it a bacteria? Is it a virus? Is it a fungal infection? Is it a chemical exposure? Biological exposure? Your host is the living person who infects with us. That's us. And then the environment is, what difference does the environment make? It may not make a difference. It may make a big difference. So I think in class when we reviewed epidemiological triangle, we talked about COVID. COVID was the agent. Host was whoever. Was it an elderly person who's more at risk? Was it an immunocompromised person? And what was the environment? Was it a long-term care facility that we knew the elderly got very sick in from COVID? Right? So what impact does the environment have? But all of these three need to be present when you're discussing the epidemiological triangle. Okay? And it goes very specifically here through the epidemiological triangle. Then it goes through, we're talking infectious disease. We're under that category, under that umbrella right now. What's reportable? CDC reportable diseases. Talked about that in class, and it goes through some of those. Then it goes through a whole section on STDs. Okay. Next major section is disasters. We as nurses are expected to participate in every aspect of a disaster. Okay, we know there's 2 types of disaster, natural and man-made. You should know that. Okay. What is the role? What is our role in preparedness?
I didn't even speak to the dean.
Well, someone did.
Hang on,
You
somebody needs to mute themselves.
He was
Please.
removed, violating a fellow student's reasonable expectation of confidentiality.
Okay, all right. Who needs to mute? Okay, so this is the role, our role in disaster preparedness or disasters. So we have the preparedness. So before anything happens, what are we doing? Okay. This is all about preparedness. Then it goes into response. What's our role in response? Who may be helping us? American Red Cross, FEMA. Okay, what is our role in the response? What is our role in recovery? Okay, so have a look at that. Nurses' role in recovery. Here's a good levels of prevention related to disaster management. Here's some good examples of primary, secondary, tertiary. Okay, and then what happens after a disaster? What do we need to be looking at? What if the disaster was because of terrorism or bioterrorism? What's the role of the nurse? Here's a summary of some bioterrorism agents to have a look at. Is it a category A, category B, category C? And the differences. How do we triage in a disaster? All those tags, who's the highest priority, who's the second, who's the last? This is an excellent section here in your review. The review of disaster nursing. Okay, so please read through that. Okay. Again, this is a long study guide, but it's very detailed. The next big section we cover is culture. Talked a lot about that during the term. What is culture? How does race, what are some race issues with culture? What are some ethnicity issues with culture? What do we look at? What's cultural diversity? Talked about that. How do we communicate with different cultures? Here's some things that we need to be aware of with different cultures. How do cultures communicate? What's their perception of space? What's their time perception? Are they future-oriented, present-oriented, past-oriented? Remember that discussion? It's going to be different with every culture. What's cultural competence? How do we attain cultural competence? I like this. The 10 standards are based on the principles of social justice and human rights. And these are the 10 standards. I don't know that you're going to get a specific question about that, but there are definitely cultural questions on the HESI. Definitely. Okay. Again, cultural competence, developing it. This is what this whole section is about. Okay.
Oh.
And then the next big section is about the rural population, migrants, right? So rural versus urban. What are the differences? Population characteristics, health issues, health status of rural residents. What are the struggles of women's health in the rural area, women and children, maternal and infant health in the rural areas? What do we want to remember about health of kids in the rural areas, mental health issues in the rural areas, occupational environmental health, okay? And then there's a section on migrant farm workers. So again, we've talked about all this. This is just going through in a very detailed review. Migrant farm workers, there's a whole section about that. This should all be reviewed to you. And then the last section is, I think this is the last section, federal agencies that we want to be aware of. Okay, Department of Health and Human Services. National Institute for Nursing Research, Healthcare Research and Quality. Okay, so be mindful of these federal agencies as it relates that we will be using or referring to if we're working in community and public health. And this box was taken right from the book, box 32.3. What are the functions of the federal agencies involved with occupational health? Remember the whole discussion about OSHA, right? How do they play into community health nurses' role with occupational health? Okay, this is the last section, I believe. Community assessment. How do we do a community assessment? This whole section is all about that. Goes to the nursing process. Okay. Definitely review that section on community assessment. That is covered quite a bit in the HESI. Okay, so that's how your HESI is organized. It's organized in concepts that we have reviewed. Anybody have any questions about that before we go to the quiz and review the quiz? Because the quiz is just continue to review. Have all of you looked at your HESI review, I hope? Does that help break it down or organize it a little bit better? Tackle one section at a time. So maybe read the culture section, take a break, and then maybe go back to your study guide that we covered culture. Let's say it was for exam 3. Then go back and review the culture section of your study guide. That's the way I would suggest. Does that make sense? Take each section in that big booklet, and then while you're reading that section, go back and review whatever week that was covered in. And I wouldn't go back to your readings at this point. I would go back to your study guides. Go pull that section out of the study guide on culture or on rural populations. Review both together. I mean, it should be familiar to you at this point. Okay. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, let's take a look at the quiz. How'd you guys do in the quiz? Do you feel like it was a decent review? Anybody? Okay, all right, well, let's go ahead and review the share. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Yes, no? Can everybody see my screen? I can't,
Yes,
I can
ma'am.
only see 3 people, so if you just give me a yes or no, or
Yes.
thank you. All right, so first question, the nurse is conducting a health risk appraisal. Which of the following activities is the nurse assessing when using this tool? Well, she's doing a health risk appraisal. So what's she going to be looking at?
Unhealthy activities.
Okay. So let's look at the rationale here. Health risk appraisal refers to the process of assessing the presence of specific risk factors in each of the categories that have been identified as being associated with an increased likelihood of illness, cancer, or an unhealthy event, such as an accident, right? So therefore, we're assessing for unhealthy behavior and activities in the areas of biological and age-related risk, social and physical environmental risk, and behavioral risks. Okay? Incorrect activities to promote health, prevent illness, or reduce risks would be advantageous, not risky. So a health risk appraisal refers to looking for risk. And that risk can be a social risk, could be an age risk, could be a environmental risk, could be a behavioral risk, which are choices. Okay, all the other answers, we want to be doing illness prevention activities. We want to be doing healthy promotion activities. We want to be doing healthy diet promotion activities. All of those are good, right? So if we're doing a health risk, we're assessing for unhealthy activities. Which of the following families is at high risk for health problems? Did everybody get A as a correct answer?
Yes.
All right, so let's look at answer A. The man that's currently unemployed and despairs about finding a position. So a person who's unemployed and despairing of finding employment, there are a lot of risks, okay? Economic risks, which is one of the most foremost predictors of health problems. Remember we said early in class when we covered the section in poverty, the highest risk, no, let me rephrase that. The best way to assess health is the financial stability of the family. So if the family is very financially unstable, a lot of health risks are going to be associated with that. Okay, so economic risk is determined by the relationship between family financial resources and the demands on those resources. Having adequate financial resources means that the family can purchase the necessary services and goods related to health. Housing, clothing, food, education, healthcare. A man who says he needs to eat better and exercise more, appears to have adequate resources as he's employed. Right? The man who has a family history of cardiac disease is not displaying any, oh, this is going through the rest of them. Okay. The man who has a family history of cardiac disease is not displaying any known risk factors related to income. And then the man that has been laid off, but is still, man has been laid off and is still receiving an income, which would assist him in being able to afford the necessary goods and services. All right. So this question goes back to the poverty section we covered. Okay. Poverty has incredible impacts on health in every way, especially to the children, right? The nurse has completed a health risk appraisal. A nurse has completed health risk appraisals for several different families. Which of the following families would be of most concern to the nurse? Why is A the right answer?
Is it because they're a vulnerable population?
Part of it, yeah. What else?
They just retired and they sold their house. They're going into a new situation, I guess.
Transitions. Right, Alexa? Transitions. That's the big word. Okay, transitions. So moving from one stage or condition to another are always risky for potential risk for families. Age-related or life event risks often occur during transitions from one developmental stage to another. Right. So when we're going through transitions, they present new situations and demands for families. Okay, so this particular correct answer, moving from the family home to a smaller condo, represents a major change in lifestyle. And look at the population. It's the elderly population who already has risks, right? The other answers don't represent major transitions. Okay. Okay, a home health nurse who is visiting a family for the first time asks, could we review your extended family and other persons or groups from who you interact with each week? Which of the following provides the best rationale for the nurse to ask this question? Why is she asking it? Well, the answer is A. Why, okay, let me ask it differently. Why is A the correct answer? Why is that important? To find out.
Because like let's say like one of the cousins is into like drugs or something like that. There might be influenced by their cousin doing drugs.
Okay, that's one excellent example. This question is talking about that eco map that I just reviewed in the HESI study guide. Okay, that eco map, this question is assessing what is the family's involvement in their what's their involvement in the community? Do they have resources? All right, so she's really trying to evaluate their eco map. Okay, so that's a rationale. Eco maps can provide information about relationships that the families have with others, relatives, neighbors. It also assesses the family's connection with other social units in the community, church, school, work, clubs, organizations. And the other thing it does, it assesses the flow of energy, positive or negative in the family. What's going on? What is going on? EcoMap represents the family's interactions with other groups and organizations. Okay? Their social risks and resources can be assessed by asking this question. Okay? Occupational nursing, okay? An occupational health nurse is developing an education program to address the importance of healthy personal health habits. Which of the following topics would be most important for the nurse to address? Most important. Okay, the answer is A. That is the most important. It's not that the other three are not appropriate to address. But the question was asking what is most important. And we do know that many family health risks can be reduced by paying attention to diet, exercise, and stress management. We know that regular physical exercise is effective in promoting and maintaining health and preventing disease. Physical activity can help prevent obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, depression. Okay. Number 6, a home health nurse is about to visit a family in their home. However, the nurse is feeling uncomfortable about getting out of her car because a group of young adults across the street are drinking and fighting amongst themselves. Which of the following actions should be taken by the nurse? One of the things we talked about when we did our home health, and actually some of the readings you did about home health talked about safety. Okay, so A is the correct answer. All right, drive away and notify the family from a safer location. You have to put your person, if you are visiting homes and you are feeling unsafe, you have got to put your personal safety is the top priority. Right? Generally, home visits are safe. However, as with all work sites, the possibility of violence exists. Right? So you need to use caution. Right? So if you're having reasonable doubts or questions about the safety in making the visit, don't make the visit. Okay. Nurse notes that the community has an unusually high prevalence of STDs among teens. Which of the following best, important word, best describes a secondary prevention the nurse could take? What are we doing with A? What are we doing? That's a correct answer. Conducting a sexual behavior survey. What are we doing with that? What is that called?
Screening.
Screening, exactly. Exactly. What's B? Primary, secondary, tertiary.
Primary.
Okay. What's C?
Tertiary.
Tertiary. They have an STI. What's D?
Primary.
Primary.
Primary. Primary. Trying to prevent something before it happens. Right? So the correct answer A, as you guys said, secondary prevention would include screening for risky behavior. And you already identified the primary and tertiary ones. The nurse and family have agreed on an ambitious goal to improve family functioning. But as the family later expresses with some dismay, they may have not been able to change their behavior as easily and as quickly as they had hoped. Which of the following must be remembered throughout this process? Select all that apply. Well, for sure, goals must be realistic and feasible. Right? So we have to make sure that whatever goals we've set out at the beginning, maybe they're not quite all met in the time frame or the way they were supposed to be attained. We can always go back and revisit those goals. Ongoing negotiation is central. Communication. Okay, C is not necessarily true. Okay, so this is all about contracting, making a contract with the family. Okay, so when we are contracting with the family, an important aspect is obtaining the family's view of the situation, the problems. We can do our assessment, that's fine, but we have to get the family's input. What do they think about the assessment? Were we correct? Were we incorrect? Are we missing pieces of information that we don't have? Right? So goals must be mutually set. Yes, after I do my family assessment, I may come up with goals, but I don't want to be doing that by myself. The family needs to be included, right? It needs to be mutually agreed upon. Okay. Sometimes a pitfall for nurses and clients who are new to contracting is to set really kind of far-reaching goals that may not be realistic. Okay. A nurse is completing a health risk appraisal with a client. Which of the following comments would cause the nurse to probe further to determine if the family is in crisis? Does everybody understand why A is correct? Tell me why A is correct. What does it look like when somebody's in crisis? Go ahead.
She doesn't see like any way to get out of what's ahead.
Mhm.
She feels like there is no way is a big hint in the answer.
Yeah. So when a family or an individual's in crisis, it usually means that they can't cope. They can't cope with the event, whatever the event is. They become disorganized, dysfunctional. They just can't cope with daily life, right? So when the demands of a situation exceed whatever resources this family might have, that's when a family crisis will occur, right? This person is overwhelmed and she's unable to conceive how to cope, right? And the last question. School health nurse orchestrates a community outreach effort to prevent violence in the school and community. What primary prevention strategies could prove effective? Everybody understand why A is primary? Okay, we're trying to educate on maybe what different types of violence may be present and try to educate on what some interventions might be. What is B? right? B is secondary, right? Referrals. We're identifying risk. What's C?
Tertiary.
Tertiary, right? We are the group is a group of victims from teen dating violence, right? And what's D?
Secondary.
I like this rationale here. It's another nice summary. Primary prevention provides health promotion, education to prevent health problems in children. Secondary includes screening, maybe for various illnesses, monitoring their growth and development, right? And caring for them when they're ill or injured, right? Tertiary in the schools would be the long-term care of those complex students who need health services, right? And so that's a nice summary that covered a lot of different concepts we covered in class. So, how are you feeling about the HESI? You guys will do fine. You guys have done great. I love this class. Really love this class. You guys are all fantastic students. You really are. And my expectation is 1,000 plus on the HESI, every one of you. And some of you may have already done the what ifs. Oh, I just need to pass HESI. I just need to pass, whatever. That's fine. But I'd be striving for more. Don't settle for the what ifs. Okay. If anybody needs any help, any additional help preparing for HESI, I know a group has it Monday. Pensacola has it Monday. The other two, Cutler Bay and Port St. Lucie, are towards the end of next week. Any of you Pensacola students that may need some help, additional help preparing, or if there's just questions you have, you got to reach out to me before Monday. I'll make myself available to you guys this weekend if you want, if anybody needs to get together. Okay. And then the other two campuses, you don't test till end of next week. I don't know what your other HESI schedules are, but I offer the same assistance for anybody. But I have no doubt that every one of you will pass the HESI with flying colors. You guys are all excellent students. Pat yourself on the back. And I mean that. This has been a really good class. Everybody has excelled in this class. So I'm really proud of you guys. Really proud of you guys. And I wish you the best
Thank
of luck on
you.
HESI, okay? Get your remediation done not as soon as, but as soon after you take the HESI as you can, and put this one aside. Okay? Just get it done. Don't wait until that following Monday of week 12. So you have issues with the internet or whatever. You don't get your remediation done by that Monday night. What's the date? Monday of week 12. You're going to be, you'll end up with a 0. Monday the 24th. Yeah. Monday the 24th is the last day. Don't wait. Don't wait. Plus, you know what? I'm going to be starting to send reminders on Saturday morning. Get your remediation done. Okay, so, but good luck. Good luck. And then, I have to figure out what we're doing for week 12. Shoot. Because our grade book, we're not going to, I think we have to get it. No, we do. Okay. I'm making an executive decision. We have to have class on week 12. I was trying to figure out because my Friday class with PN has to attend my Monday class. Grade books will close on Wednesday at the end of the day, but you guys have to get attendance for week 12. All right. So you got to come to class on the Wednesday of week 12. It's a really short class. We just do, how was your HESI? What'd you think? What'd you think of the class? Just end of term talking. Maybe 10, 15 minutes. All right, so, and I know you're hearing this from your other instructors too. You got to attend week 12 class to get your attendance. Okay, week 11 attendance next week is simply you take your HESI, but week 12 you got to attend. If that changes, I will let you know. If you have to try and attend a Tuesday section of Professor Price's, I will let you know, but I'm pretty sure that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday classes go as planned. All right, so don't forget that. Okay. Questions? Go get them. Game on. Go get them. You guys can do this. Okay.
Thank you, Professor.
Haley put up a heart. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of the week.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome.